This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah. Today we will be understanding some program basics. Okay. So what happens is whenever you start any programming course or something, you should have knowledge on programming. So without knowledge on programming, so it will be very difficult for you to understand the programs in the future. Okay. So that is why always the first day we will dedicate to understanding the program. So understanding the program, then we will go into Python or anything. Okay. Right. So right. So whenever I talk about a program, so what is a program? So program is a set of instructions along with the data. So what is a program? Set of instructions along with the data considered as inputs. Considered as what? Input. So input is something which we give. So into a program, we need to give something. I'll give you a real-time example also. Okay. So program is something which is called as a set of instructions along with the data. What we consider it as? We consider it as input. Input in the sense you give something. Okay. And that inputs are processed. That inputs are processed to give the outputs. That inputs are processed to give the output. Now, a simple example I'll tell you. Now, for example, if I am asking you to add 4 comma 3, okay, I'm just asking you to add 4 comma 3. Add 4 comma 3. What you'll do? You'll say 4 plus 3. Yes or no? 4 plus 3. Why you are saying 4 plus 3? Because I'm asking you to add. I'm giving you an instruction. I'm giving you an instruction. You add 4 and 3. So what is add? Instruction. What is 4 and 3? 4 and 3 is the data. 4 and 3 is the data. So you are adding 4 and 3. You are adding 4 and 3. So that adding process is nothing but processing. Yes, processing. We call it as processing. After processing, what you get the output. So that output we also call it as information. That output we also call it as information. Okay. So whenever we are talking about a program, okay. So whenever you are talking about a program, so how can I define a program? So if you want, you can write. A program is a set of instructions along with the data. So what is a program set? Program is a set of instructions along with the data considered as considered as input. Considered as input. So program is a set of instructions along with the data considered as inputs that are to be processed to give the output. Okay, so to give the output. So whenever you are talking about a program, so what is a program? A program is a set of instructions along with the data which we consider as input, and that input are to be processed to give the output. So if I say you are a programmer. Okay, so you are a programmer. So what is your first job? Your first job is to take the inputs. Your first job is to take the input. So what input will contain? Input will contain something like add 4 comma 3. So what is add here? Add is an instruction. Add is an instruction. What is 4 comma 3 here? 4 comma 3 is the data. 4 comma 3 is the data. So add is an instruction. 4 comma 3 is the data. So this is going to be processed. So what do you mean by processing, sir? Processing means you apply the instruction. What is instruction here? Plus. So 4 and 3 are getting added. So this is called input, as I told you, and this is called processing. Okay, and this is called processing. And after processing, what you get? You get the output. You get the output. So output. So output. What is the output here? 4 plus 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. Okay. Now, what is the process going on? I I has to be processed, and you have to get the O. IPO. So it can be a simple addition program, or it can be a biggest program in the world. Okay, it can be a small addition program, or it can be a biggest program in the world. Okay, so it can be a small program, so it can be addition of two numbers, it can be a simple program subtraction, it can be a simple program like finding the area, it can be a complex program. So complex program in the sense of one bank application. So one, for example, you are checking the results. You are checking the results. So that result application. Okay, all that is coming under IPO only. All that is coming under IPO only. Okay, I'll tell you a simple real-time example. Now you go to a bank ATM. Okay, so you go to a bank ATM. So what you put? You put your card. That card is the data. What is that card? That card is the data. So you gave the data to the machine. Getting my point? You gave the data to the machine. And after you give the data, what is happening? It is giving you some options, no? Withdraw, balance checking, pin change, right? Depending on your work, you will press that option. Means you are giving the instruction. Adding is a simple one. Now I'm giving you a complex example. What is the complex example? You gave the card. You gave the card. So what is that card? That card is the data. That card is the data, and you are giving the instruction, and you are asking the machine to give you money. Getting the money is output. And what is happening inside? It will take your card, it will scan your card, and that information will go to the bank server, and that bank server will verify your details. If you are correct, if your details are correct, if your card is valid, then it will give you the money. It is also IPO. Getting my point? Okay, example number two, I'll say. You'll check your results, isn't it? So when you are checking the result, what you give? You give your hall ticket number. What is that hall ticket number? That hall ticket number is the data. The hall ticket number is the data. And somebody will write a program to work on that data. Work on that data. So in the backend, that services will go on. And what you get? You get your result, output. You're understanding my point? Everything you take, everything from morning alarm to night before going to sleep, we'll see Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp, right? Everything, every application in your hand, every application you work, it is all about IPO only. I for input, P for processing, O for output. It is as simple as that. Anything you take, anything, any technical computer based application totally depends on IPO, not only Python. That is why I told you program basics. I did not tell you about Python basics. I am telling you about program basics. It can be any programming language for that matter. So if you are working with Java, if you are working with C program, or you're working with any other programming language in the world, it is all about IPO. So you tell me where is no IPO? You can't tell me. So if you think for one day also, you cannot say IPO. I mean, you cannot say without IPO any one application. That is the power of program. So what does the program do? Program performs IPO. I for input, P for processing, O for output. So I input. So we'll talk about the data. We'll talk about the instruction. So we'll talk about processing. What is processing? What does you talk about, sir? We talk about logic application. See, programming is all about logics, no? So where that logics are applied? That logics are applied in the P phase. In which phase? In the P phase. So here you will be working with logics. See, input is like 10% of your job. Output is 10% of your job. But what is the other 80% of your job? Other 80% of your job is processing, the logics. You are taking that hall ticket number. Taking that hall ticket number is easy, right? So what you do, so just create a HTML page. Okay, so you just create a HTML page and take that hall ticket number. HTML page is just like 2 minutes job. Yes, and getting the output. So you are getting the output in a table, your result. Again, this is also HTML. That is only 10% of your job. This is only 10% of your job. But in the middle, what will be there? In the middle, so you will have the processing, taking the hall ticket number, working with the hall ticket number, checking with the database. Yes or no? Checking with the database. Checking with the database, and the database have to give you the data. I mean, give the server the data, and that server will put the data onto the results. Am I clear? Yes. And what is this? IPO. There is no programmatical application without IPO. Okay, so there is no way that we can have an application without IPO. I for input, P for processing, O for output. Is that clear? Is the point understood? So whenever we are talking about the program, so you need to talk about IPO only. So I for input, P for processing, O for output. So what we will learn here, sir? We will learn how to give the inputs, how to write the logics, how to put the outputs. So what you are learning at the end of the day, you are learning IPO only. What you are learning? IPO only. So you are learning inputs, how to give the inputs, how to process the logics, and how to get the outputs. So these are the things that you are going to learn throughout your course. Which course? Full stack Python course. Yes. So what are the things that I'm learning, sir? Then you are learning how you can give the inputs, how you can provide the data, how you can provide the instructions, how you can write the logics on that instructions, and how you are going to project the data. Project the data means that is output. Am I clear? So that is what you are going to do throughout this course. Yes. So as a part of full stack, you have to learn UI technologies. I think I told you in the demo also. So you are going to learn the HTML technologies. You are going to learn Python, and you are going to learn SQL. So all this within this 3 months time, you will be learning all those things. Yes. Hope you are understanding my point. Okay. Now people will ask me, sir, why I should learn Python programming? So what is the speciality of Python programming? Okay. So what I'll do is I will just talk about programming language first. Then we will go about Python. Okay. So the next thing that I need to write about is programming language. So what is a programming language? So what do you mean by a programming language? So programming language means, okay, so programming language means, now for example, what is, okay, so when I say program, so I told you what is a program. Then what is a programming language? Now for example, I am talking to you and you are talking to me. Yes. So we are communicating. We are communicating. So for this communication, we require a language. We are using English, or sometimes we use Telugu, Hindi, whatever the communication that you understand. Yes. Now, programming language means it is also a means of communication. It is also a means of communication. So, programming language is also a means of communication. So, programming language is a means of communication. So you are going to communicate with the system. Sir, why I need to communicate, sir? Just now I told you. You have to give the inputs, you have to write the logics, so you have to project the outputs. For all that, you need to communicate with the system or not. So for that, we require a language called programming language. For that, what we require? We require a programming language. Getting my point? So what is programming language? You understood now? What is a programming language? The language which is used for communication. Is used for communication between the programmer and the computer system. Programmer and the computer system to do a particular task. So you have to do some task, no? So the task you have to do. Suppose now I said you add, you write a program for addition. What you'll do? You will give the data, you will give the instruction, you will write the logic, and you will get the output. Yes, for that output you are doing. So many people ask me, sir, everything we are doing now, what is the power of computer? Everything we need to do. So computer is not a machine which will understand itself. Okay, so even robots also, if you create, so you need to give them instructions. So without instructions, we cannot make the robo work, right? So you create a robo. So suppose you are a scientist, artificial intelligence scientist, you create a robo, but that robo needs to be given instructions, no? So without instruction, will that robo work? Not possible at all. So you have to give the instruction. So how we give the instruction? By using a language. By using a language. So that language we call it as programming language. Hope you are understanding my points. Okay. So it is a language for communication. It is a language for communication. So what is a programming language, sir? It is a language for communication between the programmer and the computer machine. And the computer machine. So it is a language for communication between the programmer and the computer machine. Computer machine. Using the programming language, we develop programs. We develop programs. Using the programming language, we develop the programs. Okay. Programs will help us solve simple to complex programs. Okay, so programs will help us solve simple to complex problems. Simple to complex problems. Okay, so what is the simplest problem, sir? Simplest problem is addition. What is the most complex problem? So I have a friend whose friend works at NASA. Sir, not NASA, ISRO. So he works at ISRO, and I asked him, so what he will do? He's a software engineer. What he will do at ISRO? I asked him. Then he said he is a Python developer at ISRO. So more than that, there is no complex program, isn't it? So if he is working at ISRO, so he is developing programs to make the rocket fly. So there also Python is used. Python is used here also. I mean, for addition, simple programs also, right? Python is used for solving simple to complex problems. Am I clear? Yes. So the most complex problem that I can see on Python is developing a program for making the rocket fly. I mean, I'm not saying that Python is the only thing that will make the rocket fly. I'm not saying that. Some automation process might be done in Python. Getting my point? So he is working at ISRO as a Python developer only. Means he is working with complex applications. You are understanding my point? So it is used for solving simple to complex problems. Simple to complex problem. Who program? So how you are writing the program? By using a programming language. By using a programming language. So Python is also a Now we will talk about Python. Okay, Python. So it is. So what is Python now? It is a programming language. It is what? A programming language. It is what? A programming language used for what? Developing the programs. Developing the programs for solving simple to complex. I'm just combining those lines. That's it. Okay, solving simple to complex problems. Yes, right. So what is Python? It is a programming language. What is a programming language? I told you. So what is a program? I told you. So programming language used for solving the programs. Used for developing the programs to solve simple to complex programs, simple to complex problems. So simple problem means simple addition, subtraction, simple mathematical calculation. Complex means NASA, ISRO. Maybe in NASA also they might be using. ISRO is using means NASA also there might be Python developers or IT developers. Okay, so as we know that person, we know that he is working in ISRO in Python development. Maybe in NASA also there. Maybe in other country rocket applications are also there. So that is a most complex thing that a human has achieved, isn't it? That is why I'm saying that example. Yes. So reaching the moon, reaching the Mars. Okay. So that is the most complex thing that human has achieved. Yes or no? So anything is less than that only. No. So creating software applications, software products. That is a common thing that will happen. But what is the most complex thing that can take place? The most complex thing is reaching the moon, reaching the Mars. Am I clear? Yes. So what is Python now? In simple words. It is a programming language used for developing the program for solving simple to complex problems. It is said to be a general purpose. It is said to be a general purpose programming language. Why, sir? Why you are calling it as a general purpose programming language? Now, for example, you open some apps, right? So you open some applications in a laptop. Okay, so or uh, you open some applications in smartwatch. So these are all general purpose only, no? So we don't say that they are something else. They are all general purpose only. So Python is also used for general purpose operations only. So it can be a smartphone, it can be a smartwatch, it can be a laptop application, it can be any application that you use in the daily life. Getting my point? So what all things you use in the daily life are the part of the programming languages only. So Python is no different. Python is also a programming language uh, which is used to developing the applications that are useful for general purpose. General purpose. Getting my points? So Python is a programming language which is used for solving simple to complex problems. It is also called as general purpose. Means what is the purpose of Python? To solve the general problems only. To create some apps, to create some applications. Okay, so to work as to create a calculator application, etc., etc. Just now I told you bank applications. As I told you, something like student result application. So all these are what? All these are general purpose only. Am I clear with my points? General purpose programming language. Okay. Now, now why I should learn Python? So why Python? So many people ask me. So should I take Java? Should I take Python? Or should I go for any other thing? Okay. So I try to compare Python with other languages. Like for example, let's take Java. So now Java program, if I have to write, okay, so I'll give you a simple example. Uh, addition of two numbers. Addition of two numbers using Python and Java. Okay, what I'll do is I'll make a table where on the left I'll write a Python program for doing the same purpose, right? And here I'll write a Java program. Okay, so here I'll write a Python program and here I'll write a Java program. Okay, for addition of two numbers, simple program. A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3, and A plus B. So, what is the program here? Addition of two numbers. What you said? A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3, and A plus B. So, believe me, this is your first program. You did not even only in first half an hour you wrote your first program. That easy is Python. Okay, so now how, sir, how can you say that I understood this program? Generally people will say I will not understand programming, it is logic, it is so many steps and all. But try to see that program. A is equal to 5, B is equal to 3, A plus B. Is there any hard thing to understand there? Is there anything hard to understand here in these three lines? Is there anything hard? Kashtanga unda? So is it like tough to understand? No, it is simple like mathematics only. No, it is simple like mathematics only. So what it is saying? What it is saying? Every program talks to you. So what it is saying? Hey boss, 5 is allocated to A, right? Next, 3 is allocated to B, and then A plus B. What is A plus B? 5 plus 3. So I just remember my school days when I used to do things like this. Now, for example, teacher asked me, find the area of a rectangle. Find the area of a rectangle. So then what I used to write, I will say, find the area of a rectangle, I used to say L is equal to, or I'll say length is equal to D. Of course, I used to have centimeters and all, but I'm not using them right now. So length is equal to 3, breadth is equal to 4. Okay, breadth is equal to 4, and what is the area? Length into breadth. Now, believe me, this is your second program. Simple like mathematics only. There is no uh, other things involved here. Simple program. I'm not saying that every program will be like this. So initially it will be like this only. So to understand, the starting phases of the program will be like this. Slowly the complexity will increase. I'm not saying that the first program is like this and the last program will also be like this. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that programs are very simple when you compare with Java. Why, sir? How you are saying? Okay. Now let me write the same two programs using Java program. See what happens. So as I'm a Java trainer also, I know Java also, I know Python also. Okay. So that is why I'm able to write both the program. But I'm not asking you to learn both the programming. Anyone, if you are perfect, the other thing you can learn easy. If you are perfect in Java, you can learn Python. If you are perfect in Python, you can learn Java. Not a problem at all. Okay. So class addition. Okay. So class addition, and you will write something like public static void main string args, and then you will say same program. Believe me, it's the same program. Okay, so a is equal to 5, but before that we have to say int a is equal to 5. Okay, so int a is equal to 5, and here I will say int b is equal to 3. So int a is equal to 5, int b is equal to 3, and then here I will say system dot out dot print ln a plus b. Now tell me, when you are looking at the Java program, obviously you will get some doubt. What is this class? And what is this symbol? What is this public, static, void, main? What are all this? So in Python, I did not have all that, but in Java, I have all of these things. What are they? You have something like class, you have something like public, you have something like static. So all that words will give a confusion in your mind. Will give a confusion. Array, what is all that? The only logic is a plus b. The logic is a plus b. So this is input. I told you, right? IPO. What is I? This is I. This is P. And once you do the operation, you will get O output. IPO. I'm not saying IPO is not there here. IPO is there here also. And IPO will be there in each and every program. So there is no program in Python, Java, or any programming language without IPO, believe me. Yes. Okay. So now what you're understanding? You're understanding that you have a class addition, you are having all these words, you are having this word here, means you will be in a question mark state. Array, why I need to learn all those things? So what all those things? So you need to understand, then only you will understand the complete program. Yes or no? Getting my point or not? So that is where you choose Python. See, without any knowledge, you understood these two programs without any knowledge. But are you able to understand the Java program? No. It is very tough. It is very tough, especially for the people who are from non-IT background. So if they are from IT background, they might be having some knowledge. They might be having some knowledge. They might have learned it somewhere else, or in BTech or BSc, somewhere else they might have learned. But here it will be like, I know how BSc and BCom colleges are. So there no, in BTech at least we have some good faculty, but in BSc BCom I know how the faculty will be. Okay, so that is where the gap will come. So that is why Python is easier to learn, easier to understand. So that is why the answer for why Python is, it is easy to develop and easy to understand, easy to develop and understand. And moreover, it comes under a language which can be developed and understood. So what is Java now? Java is a programming language which you have to learn, understand and develop. But Python, first you can write easily, then you can understand. Sir, what is this phi? What is that equal to? What is that a? What is that plus? We will understand. But you are, on the whole, you are understanding the program first of all. See, when you see a Python program, when you see a Java program, definitely you will give marks to Python only. Why? Because Python is easy to understand. So that initial phase, so suppose for example, in LKG, if I would have taught uh, zebra first, instead of going with ABCD, they would have told me zebra. I would have understood? No, definitely not. Means zebra you don't understand. Now first apple you should understand, then only you should understand zebra. Getting my point? So it should be like, so don't get confused. What I'm trying to say is, now instead of ABC 1 2 3, if they have made you learned words, paragraphs, you would have understood. Getting my point? So you కష్టమైతుంది కదా. ఇప్పుడు ఇనిషియల్గా నేను ఏం నేర్పించాలి, ఏబీసీలు నేర్పించాలి. నేను ఏబీసీలు నేర్పించకుండా ఇది ఒక పారాగ్రాఫ్, ఇది ఒక లైన్, నాట్ పాసిబుల్. సో జావా ఈజ్ లైక్ దట్. Instead of making you learn from the basics, so it will give you a whole stuff. So that stuff you have to understand. So that stuff you have to understand, and then you will understand the program. So that is why I'm saying Java is a programming language which is kind of understand and develop style. What is the style? Understand and develop style. But what about Python? Python is under develop and understand. First you develop, first you start developing, first you start developing, then you'll understand. Getting my point or not? So now, for example, car driving is there. Car driving, bike driving. Can you learn by looking into YouTube? car driving. I'm talking about car driving. Car driving without driving the car, without sitting in the car, can you learn driving in YouTube? No, not possible. Yes or no? So you can learn that Mugu and all, okay. Mugu, Vanta and all you can learn on YouTube. But car driving, can you learn on YouTube? No. Physically you have to get it done. Yes or no? Same thing with uh, same thing with what? Same thing with Python also. First, you just try to sit in the car. Try to sit in the car, start the car, then you get the idea of clutch and everything. Then you will learn the car easy. Getting my point? So first you sit in the car. So first you don't like see in the YouTube. That is not possible. Getting my point or not? So that is the Python style. You develop and then you can understand. So first you sit in the car, then you understand the things, then you will start driving. Hope my points are clear. Yes. So that is the style of Python. So Python is easy to develop, easy to understand. So that is the best feature of Python. And then people will ask me, sir, as you said, Python is easy to understand and easy to develop. Is it matching Java or is matching any other technologies? Okay. So the first thing that I would like to give you the answer why Python is. So answers for by Python. So the first answer is what? First answer is Python is easy to develop and easy to understand. Python is easy to develop and at the same time it is easy to understand also. By look, you can easily understand. Yes, the proof is here. The proof is here. Proof is here, no? You understood this? If I ask you to write a program for finding the area of the square, what you'll do? You will take something like side is equal to sorry, side is equal to 4, and then you will say side into side. This is program number 3 for you. Over. Yes or no? Getting my point or not? So this is program number 3. So on the first day itself, you are able to write 3 programs. So Python is easy or not? Obviously easy. Okay. And as I told you, when I say this point, the next question that people will ask me is, sir, you said Python is easy to develop and easy to understand. Is it powerful? Is it powerful? So the next question is it powerful than Java? Okay, so is it powerful than Java? Okay, so answers for why Python. So why Python is the answer is the first answer is this, and the next question that we are asking is it powerful than Java? Is it powerful than Java? The answer is yes. The answer is what? Yes. Because of some features like, okay, object oriented programming. What is the first feature? Object oriented programming. Okay, so we generally call it as OOP. OOP. Okay, so generally when you go to the other institutes, what they'll do is first they'll tell you about history. They'll tell you about so many things which generally are not required for the programming. Who worries about history of Python, who invented it, when it came into the picture? All that is not required. So we are learning the things on the first day itself. We wrote 3 programs, means it's a big achievement. Let me tell you why, sir, it's a big achievement. See, first day no one will write programs, but we will write programs. We will start our journey from day 1 itself. Hope you're understanding my point. So I am going to give you the idea of Python, how Python is going to influence us. Yes. So history and all that is waste. history and talking unnecessary things, not useful at all. Okay, so I have seen so many demos on the first day. They'll be talking all with all the things which are not useful. Okay, so which are not useful for our career. So we are going to talk about the things which are useful and which you will be listening all the time. OOP. This you will be listening throughout your career. OOP. What is OOP? Okay, so what is OOP? We will not discuss today. We will discuss about it later. Object oriented programming. And it has exceptional handling. Okay, so it has exception handling, so it is also dealing with something like exception handling. These are the big topics that we need to understand, we need to apply in our real programming also. Okay, so exception handling, object oriented programming, so Python database connectivity. Okay, so Python database connectivity. Okay, so we'll talk about Python database connectivity. Okay, so how Python can be connected to the database. So we generally call it as PDBC. Okay, so PDBC, right? And it is going to support data analysis, data analysis, data science, AI. Okay, so data analysis, data science, AI, and other fields. Okay, so it supports Python support data analysis. It is supported in data science, AI. Okay, so and other fields also. Okay, so that is the power by using its libraries. Okay, by the help of its libraries, by the help of its live. So we have so many Python libraries. Libraries means which are already there, the programmings which are already created. So that created program will help in analysis, help in data science, AI, and the other fields also. Getting my point? So this is about a little knowledge on Python. So tomorrow we'll talk about what is object-oriented programming, what is exception handling, what is database connectivity. It means how these features help in our programming. So our programming only we are concentrating. So we are not talking about anything which is not useful. So we will be talking about these things in our next session. Okay. So we have last 5 minutes. So if any doubts, any questions are there, you can ask me. So we have Vijay, we have Sachin, Devender. Uh, so if you have any doubts, any questions, you can ask me right now. Yeah, that's what I told you here, right? Java is no, Java is not easy to write. So Java is having more lines. Okay, and more difference. I'll tell you. So Java is a little bit faster than Python. Why it is faster? I'll tell you. I'll tell you later. Okay, so when you talk about Python, there are more libraries. In Java, there are very less number of libraries. In Python, there are more. That is what I told you here. It is supported for data science, AI, data analysis. But in Java, there are no extensive libraries to support all this. So these are the major differences. And this object-oriented programming, exception handling, database connectivity are common points for those. Okay. So for those there are common points. So if suppose if you are learning Java, so you can be only into the development. But when you are learning Python, so you can be into data science, you can be into AI, you can be into data analysis. There are many fields you can choose. So you can be into automation. Okay, so those are the things that you are going to be selected for. Okay, so Python framework you have like Django and all. So many ways to get a job. So if you are going for Python, there are many sources that will open up for you. Okay, so Python is like a base for so many things. Yes, that is a major difference. So Java only kind of into development. Okay. Okay. So any others? Any questions? Vijay, Sachin, Devender. Sachin, I think I was told that you have some doubts, questions. You can ask me right now if you have any.